It was incredible. I think to start with, the car was it was ruined in front. All the plastic, everything under the bonnet had color of the fire extinguisher spray. It was like white, greenish, mixed with black from the fire, and everywhere under the bonnet and in front of the car, everything was covered with it. And everyone's first reaction was no, it's not possible. It's 15 minutes or something until the next race starts, and we were in the last race in Q3 and first race in Q4 with no time with this time schedule. But then the idea came to let's try to just get the car to the start line, because if we start the race, then we will get 30 something points for DNF instead of 0 points for did not start. So then they started to take some pieces off spare engine and bolt it onto the car. And it's difficult to see what anything is with this. Everything is covered in the same color under the bonnet. And starting to see this little glimpse in the eye of the mechanics, which brings you hope. So I went to get my helmet, put it on, got in the car. That's all I can do to make them ready. So I plugged the radio, and I heard the spotters in the spotters tower saying how short time it was. That the race before is driving now, and you need to go now, otherwise we will miss the race. They have lined up on the grid, and the car was still on the jacks, and there was no bonnet on, and they were still working. I heard problem, and seconds were ticking, and luckily for us, someone crashed in the race before, so there was a towing, delaying the time just slightly. And in this time, they put the bonnet back on with the first one was melted from the fire, so they put a new one on with tape, and we drove out to the grid, and they said, "Oh, you're on the way?" "Yes, we are going, but it's quite a far way to get to the pre-grid." And once we were there, we were stopped by the officials for a few seconds before they actually released us and weaved us through. The race, which was supposed to drive after us, was already lined up to queue. So I drove past this queue, cleaned my tires, and the car seemed to be working. My dash was saying strange things, and I didn't have any gear display, and nothing except the chassis feels fine and the engine is running. So I lined up on the grid on the wrong slot to start with. So I had to reverse and get in the right one. And when you stand there, it's such a turn. From just minutes ago, I was worried for Belgium, which is in a week's time, and now I'm standing on the grid, actually ready to race. And the guy gives you thumbs up, and there's nothing else to do than drive the hell out of everything. And I put the car in gear and ALS on and everything, hoping everything will work and hoping it won't catch fire again. And we made a great start. The Peugeot has been good off the line this race, so we won the start, and I was leading the race, and I think I was a bit shaky the first lap, so I took it quite carefully, but laps 2, 3 and 4 were very good. And now I came in, I see the results, and my best lap is like 7/10 quicker than anyone else. So it was good enough to win our heat race and to be second overall, although the car was in flames just minutes earlier. It's not even an hour. So when I crossed the line, I said on the radio, and the words that come from there is from the heart, and said, "You guys are the greatest mechanics in the world." And it's the only thing you can say, It's a miracle to get to the start line and to race, and we win the race, and it's unbelievable. About the fire to start with, if we back up a bit to Q3, I saw David made a crazy start around the outside, and was leading the race somehow, and Christopherson second and me third. So it was all stable. Like we didn't need to do anything big. We knew that we had to finish this race because it's short time. There was no time to repair anything, so we just needed to be safe. And I think 1 or 2 laps into the race, just passing the spotters, from the exiting the first gravel, entering the second, I saw flames onto the windscreen. And I remember races from my father where he has still having the fires in the car, and that's what crosses your mind. So if there's anything he's taught me, is that you never stop until it's stop. So I tried to go on. I took the Joker lap immediately, screaming on the radio, fire, 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 trying to get some advice from them because I was still flat out. And then I heard trying to find a marshal. So somehow you listen to the spotter instantly. So then I backed off and I looked around. I didn't see anyone. I looked for this fire button inside the car, but I couldn't find it. And at this point the flames are big. I see them on the windscreen and on the side. And I stop on the infield. And I think I pressed to stop the engine and unplugged my radio. And I jumped out, and the car was rolling backwards. And the fire marshals came out. But the bonnet is closed. Everything on the front is in fire. And they are starting to spray on top of the plastic, but the issue is inside the engine. That's what we need to save. All the electronic, everything important is in there, but they're spraying on top. So in all this adrenaline, I just ran into the fire and trying to open the bonnet, because that's where I saw inside that it's burning there. And in this moment, Terry Grant, who does the show, he pushed me away from everything, and because I had my gloves and I was clumsy, and he opened the bonnet. He was in shorts and t-shirt, but he came in to really save us, and he opened the bonnet. The fire marshals could get the real fire out and stopped. So from this moment and the 30 minutes until we started the next, there's so little things and so many things that would have gotten us out of the race, and seconds were counting everywhere, and somehow still we managed to get to the grid. So really it's a miracle.